The rain tasted like salt and regret, a metallic tang clinging to my tongue as I knelt beside the overturned motorcycle. Not the bike, not the mangled chrome or the shattered headlight, but the stillness beside it. Liam, my Liam, gone. Just like that, the world a blur of sirens and flashing blue lights, the paramedics voice a distant, garbled echo. They said it was a freak accident, a slick patch of road, a moment's inattention. But I knew deep down it was more than that. It was the universe, cruel and capricious, ripping away the one constant in my chaotic existence. We'd been inseparable since childhood, two halves of a whole, our lives intertwined like the roots of ancient trees. He was my confidant, my protector, the steady hand that guided me through the turbulent seas of adolescence. We'd shared secrets whispered under starry skies, dreams painted on the canvas of our imaginations, a bond so profound it transcended mere friendship. Yet beneath the surface of our platonic closeness, a current simmered, a forbidden longing that pulsed with every shared glance, every lingering touch. I'd buried it deep, telling myself it was just a heightened form of brotherly affection, a testament to our unbreakable bond. Liam, oblivious or perhaps choosing to be, never challenged my facade. He was the golden boy, the charismatic heartthrob, the object of every girl's desire. And I, his quiet, introspective best friend, the shadow that trailed behind him, content to bask in his reflected glory. But the truth, the raw, unadulterated truth that now clawed at my throat, was that I loved him. Not as a brother, not as a friend, but with a fierce, all-consuming passion that burned like a wildfire in my soul. I remembered the night we drunkenly confessed our deepest fears, his hand resting on mine, the warmth of his skin seeping into my bones. He'd spoken of his dreams, his aspirations, his longing for a love that was true, a love that transcended societal expectations. He looked at me, his eyes filled with a vulnerability I'd never seen before, and for a fleeting moment I'd thought just maybe he saw me too. But then he'd smiled, a sad, wistful smile, and the moment had passed, leaving me to drown in the unspoken words that hung heavy in the air. Now with him gone, the silence was deafening, the unspoken confession a phantom limb, a constant, agonizing reminder of what could have been. The twist, a crumpled note tucked into his leather jacket, a note I wasn't meant to see, a note that spoke of a hidden rendezvous, a secret lover, a lover with the initial A. And the second twist, my name is Alex. The rain intensified, mirroring the tempest raging within me. Who was A? The question echoed in my mind, a relentless drumbeat against the backdrop of my grief. Was it a girl, someone he'd finally found that true love with, or was it someone else? The thought, a treacherous whisper in the darkness, sent a shiver down my spine. I'd always suspected there was more to Liam than met the eye, a hidden depth beneath his charming facade. He'd been guarded about his romantic life, always deflecting my questions with a playful smirk or a vague, non-committal answer. Now the silence spoke volumes, a chilling testament to the secrets he'd kept. I remembered the stolen glances, the lingering touches that had always felt a little too long, a little too intense. Had I been imagining things, projecting my own desires onto his ambiguous gestures, or had he been sending me signals, subtle clues that I'd been too afraid to decipher? The guilt gnawed at me, a relentless predator tearing at my conscience. Had my own fear, my own cowardice, prevented us from exploring the unspoken connection that simmered between us? I'd always prioritized our friendship, placing it on a pedestal, a sacred bond that couldn't be tainted by romantic complications. But now with him gone, I realized the folly of my caution. I'd sacrificed my own happiness, my own desires on the altar of fear. I began to search through his belongings, a desperate attempt to piece together the fragments of his hidden life. His apartment, usually a chaotic mess of clothes and guitar picks, was strangely organized, almost sterile. A locked drawer yielded a small velvet box containing a silver necklace, engraved with the initials L and A. My heart pounded in my chest, a frantic rhythm against the silence. Was this it, proof that he'd felt something too? But then I found another note, tucked beneath the lining of his guitar case, a passionate declaration of love, signed A. It spoke of stolen moments, secret rendezvous, a love that burned with an intensity that threatened to consume them both. The note ended with a plea, a desperate longing for a future where they could be together, free from the constraints of society. The twist came when I noticed the handwriting. It was familiar, eerily so. It wasn't a woman's delicate script, but a bold, angular hand that resembled mine. The second twist, the paper had a very specific and expensive watermark on it from a paper I had given him just a few weeks prior. My world tilted on its axis, the solid ground beneath my feet dissolving into a swirling vortex of confusion and disbelief. The handwriting, the paper, the initials L and A, it couldn't be. It was impossible. Yet the evidence was undeniable, staring back at me with a cruel, mocking clarity. Had Liam been writing to me, had he been trying to tell me something, to express the feelings he'd kept hidden for so long, the thought, once a distant, impossible dream, now pulsed with a terrifying reality. I remembered the late-night conversations, the lingering glances, the moments of charged silence that hung heavy between us. Had those been his attempts to bridge the gap, to reach across the chasm of our unspoken desires? I replayed every interaction, every shared moment, searching for clues, for hints that I'd missed. The night we danced under the moonlight, his hand resting on the small of my back, the warmth of his breath on my neck. The time we'd watched the sunrise from the rooftop, his eyes mirroring the golden hues of the dawn, a silent promise hanging in the air. The day he'd given me that specific paper, saying he had an important letter to write. Had I been too blind, too afraid to see the truth that had been staring me in the face all along? Or had he been afraid too? The idea that Liam, the confident, charismatic Liam, had harbored the same fears, the same doubts as me, was both exhilarating and heartbreaking. It was a revelation that shattered the carefully constructed walls I'd built around my heart, a testament to the power of unspoken love. I began to piece together the fragments of his hidden life, the secret rendezvous, the stolen moments, the passionate declarations of love. But who was he meeting? Where were these secret places? I had to know, I had to understand. I had to know if the A was truly me. I started to search his digital footprint, his emails, his social media, anything that could give me a clue. I found encrypted messages, coded entries in his journal, a trail of breadcrumbs leading me deeper into the labyrinth of his secrets. One particular encrypted message, decoded using a simple cipher we'd created as kids, revealed a location, a secluded cabin by the lake where we'd spent countless summers. It was a place of shared memories, a sanctuary where we'd escaped the pressures of the world. The twist. While decoding the messages, I discovered that the cipher was based on a series of dates, dates that corresponded to significant moments in our shared history, moments that held a deeper meaning than I'd ever realized. The second twist inside the encrypted message was a detailed drawing of a specific, very unique, and very hidden tattoo located on my own body. The cabin, shrouded in the mist of a late-night drizzle, stood like a silent sentinel, guarding the secrets it held within its weathered walls. The air was thick with the scent of pine and damp earth, a familiar aroma that evoked a flood of memories, both bittersweet and poignant. I approached cautiously, my heart pounding in my chest, a frantic drumbeat against the silence of the night. The door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit interior, the warm glow of a fireplace casting long, dancing shadows across the room. It was exactly as I remembered it, the worn furniture, the faded photographs, the familiar objects that spoke of shared laughter and whispered dreams. A single candle flickered on the mantel, illuminating a framed photograph of Liam and me, our younger selves, our faces beaming with unadulterated joy. On the table, a worn leather-bound journal lay open, its pages filled with his elegant, flowing script. I began to read, my eyes tracing the words that poured from his soul, a raw, unfiltered expression of his deepest desires. He wrote of his love for me, a love that had blossomed from a seed of friendship, a love that had grown into a towering oak, its roots intertwined with our very beings. He spoke of his fear, his hesitation, his struggle to reconcile his feelings with the expectations of the world. He wrote of his longing for a future where we could be together, free from the constraints of societal judgment, a future where our love could flourish in the open. He described moments I had dismissed as friendly and showed the hidden meanings. Each moment was a declaration of love, hidden in plain sight. He had been trying to show me his love in ways I was too blind to see. He had been trying to tell me in the only ways he thought I would understand. He wrote of the tattoo, the one I had kept hidden, a symbol of my own hidden desires, a secret I'd never shared with anyone. He described it in detail, its intricate design, its hidden meaning, a meaning that mirrored his own unspoken feelings. He wrote of the day he'd seen it, a fleeting glimpse beneath the edge of my shirt, a moment that had solidified his love, a moment that had confirmed his deepest suspicions. He wrote of the A in his notes, not a person, but an initial, a symbol of our shared destiny, a representation of the in that connected our names, Liam and Alex. The twist. The journal contained a final entry written just hours before his accident, a declaration of his intention to reveal his feelings to me, to finally bridge the gap that had separated us for so long. The second twist, the final entry, also contained a map leading to a hidden compartment beneath the floorboards, a compartment that held a single velvet box. The map, a crude sketch on a torn piece of paper, led me to a loose floorboard beneath the fireplace. My hands trembled as I lifted it, revealing a hidden compartment, a secret sanctuary within a secret sanctuary. Inside, nestled in soft velvet, lay a small silver box. I opened it, my breath catching in my throat. It wasn't a ring, as I'd half expected, but a delicate silver chain, a replica of the one he'd engraved with L and A. But this one bore a small, intricately carved pendant, a symbol that I recognized instantly. It was the stylized representation of the constellation we'd always admired together, the constellation that had witnessed our whispered secrets, our shared dreams, our unspoken love. It was a symbol of our intertwined destinies, a testament to the bond that transcended mere friendship. A small note accompanied the necklace, its words echoing the final entry in his journal. Alex, my love, my destiny, I've waited too long, hidden too much. I can't live another day without telling you how I truly feel. This necklace is a symbol of our shared constellation, a reminder that our love was written in the stars. Meet me at our spot by the old oak at dawn. I'll be waiting. The words, etched in his familiar script, were both a declaration and a farewell, a bittersweet symphony of love and loss. I stumbled out of the cabin, the necklace clutched in my hand, the rain a cold, relentless reminder of his absence. I ran, my feet pounding against the wet earth, my heart a frantic drumbeat against the silence of the night. I reached the old oak, its gnarled branches reaching towards the sky like outstretched arms, a silent witness to our shared history. The dawn was breaking, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, a breathtaking spectacle of beauty and sorrow. But Liam wasn't there, he would never be there again. The twist. As the first rays of sunlight touched the necklace, the pendant began to glow, emitting a soft, ethereal light, revealing a hidden inscription, a single sentence that changed everything. Find A and you find me. The final twist. The A wasn't just the initial of our names or a person, but a location. The inscription, when aligned with the constellation, pointed to a hidden cave, a place we'd explored as children, a place where Liam had hidden a final, crucial message. He had known somehow that he would not be there. He had known his destiny was to show me my destiny. He was my best friend and our love was my destiny even in his absence.